Hey yo, what is ripe with those in the ranks of the Chico army? But if you're tuning in for the first time, you ain't got no stripes, you're just a viewer of the tube. My name is Tyler, the host of the Crypto Channel, whose content has a flow that just makes you want to jam. That beat was one in a melon. It's time for Chico Crypto. Well, you guys, the opportunities are abound, presenting themselves with this dip. Now, I'm a DCA investor, dollar cost average. I buy on a set schedule no matter what the price is doing. So in my mind, dips can be seen as opportunities. And scaling Ethereum and saving DeFi is the biggest opportunity presenting itself in the crypto space. So you know my picks for scaling Ethereum in the short term, xDai, and in the mid to long term, Polkadot and Ethereum's own transition to ETH2. Now, I do believe xDai should win the scaling competition, and the signs do point to them being a top contender. And today, I have more. Amin, the summoner of the Moloch DAO, tweeted his pick for the Reddit competition. It was xDai, and he gave his reasons. But then, none other than Vitalik Buterin decided to chime in. He said, "There's certainly something to be said for quick and easy to migrate and forward compatible with future optimistic rollups and ETH2 when those come. May well be the least bad path to bridge our current chasm of having high adoption, but not yet having high enough trustless scalability to properly handle it." So to win the Reddit scaling competition, the solution will have to support general purpose smart contracts, aka more than just a function of deposits and withdrawals of tokens. And then, just 3 days ago, this was tweeted in regards to scaling and adoption by ETH developers. They said layer 2s including Amisego, Loopring, and Matic, and bridges, Ren, Keep, One, Dot, and more. Vitalik responds, "The current crop of layer 2s do not support general purpose contracts. Optimistic rollups coming soon will." So in my opinion, of those who are the top contenders for the win, Matic and Amisego besides xDai, it can't be them, as Vitalik is saying they can't handle general purpose smart contracts, which you would think a Reddit community point app would need it, especially if it's going to connect to third-party applications like MetaMask and hardware wallets like Ledgers. And guess who are the people judging this competition? It's the Ethereum Foundation. The board of the Ethereum Foundation? Aya Miyaguchi, Vitalik Buterin, and Patrick Storchenegger. So good to have Vitalik saying this about xDai, but you gotta realize politics can play into things, as Aya Miyaguchi and Vitalik Buterin are both advisors to Amisego OMG. As we can see, Aya tweeted about her position in 2017, and Vitalik was listed as an original advisor to the project. So you can't count out OMG sliding in and taking it, even though it's not ready. I hope it doesn't. So besides scaling, the other thing I want to discuss is those things called NFTs, non-fungible tokens, which I see picking up the markets and pushing forward the bull run into overdrive. Why? Because NFTs are what brings the real world into the crypto world. Now, the NFT market isn't that big as we speak, and is mostly dominated by crypto enthusiasts who understand blockchain. The average regular old Joe investor hasn't touched NFTs yet, if even Bitcoin or Ethereum. Thus, the market is small. All-time volume for NFT trading just crossed 100 million, with over 4.8 million sales performed. That is all-time, since non-fungibles began being tracked in July of 2017. Now, crypto exchanges, some of the smaller ones for tokens, do that in a single day, and volume for NFTs daily over the past couple of months has been averaging just over 100K. Now, why are NFTs dragging behind when an exchange like Uniswap can cross 1 billion in 24-hour trading volume? I thought NFTs were a part of the Ethereum token ecosystem. Well, they are. It's just Uniswap is built for a certain type of token called ERC20s, which are fungible. They work with Uniswap's design of liquidity pools, since when pooling tokens and withdrawing, it doesn't matter which token from the pool you get. They are all the same and have the same value. It's way different with NFTs, as it matters a whole hell of a lot which token you receive back, as their value is derived from a multitude of factors: limited quantity editions, numbers issued from the limited collection, and more. So NFTs, they're being held back by the token design. They don't have any Uniswap trading, and there is no trading interface like Uniswap for the trading of NFTs. But one of the biggest marketplaces for the trading of NFTs is OpenSea. It's not bad, it connects to MetaMask, but the buying and selling process is a process. For example, selling my Chico crypto name for Decentraland. You have to pick how, set a bid, auction, or bundle, and then you gotta wait and hope a buyer is intrigued. Obviously, people want 1-2 click buys and sells, and Uniswap is a prime example of that. So, is it possible, the pooling of NFT tokens? Well, yes, and it's called the fractional ownership of NFTs, and Niftex has just launched this technology. How does it work? Well, Niftex works directly with NFT holders to structure launches of fractions or shards, ERC20 tokens representing a claim of the underlying asset NFT. These shard tokens are unique to the specific assets, giving them a real-time valuation and governance rights to the shard holders. And the DEX exchange, it's live, baby. As we can see, NFT shards are exchanged and traded through a simple interface, and buying and selling takes a couple of clicks. And adding liquidity to the pools is easy, just like Uniswap, as it is using Uniswap. So the exchange is where the true value of NFTs can be realized, as people realize what it can do. It's the first time ownership of NFTs can be traded and exchanged through automated market makers in a decentralized manner. Right now, it's gaming items dominating the NFT DEX. Axie Infinity, one of the biggest NFT PvP games in the space, had one of their rarest characters sharded, and Almace as ALMX tokens. That got initial eyes on the concept and got some small pools going. But one of the largest NFTs in the gaming sphere is coming to Niftex, the Boss from Neon District, which gives the owner special rights to the last boss in Neon District's coming game. It sold for 141 Ethereum, one of the highest in NFT history, and the owner put out a Medium article explaining he is planning to tokenize them on Niftex with the launch of Q3 or Q4. Now, I'm telling you, this is just the beginning of the NFT DeFi trading revolution. By putting fungibility in non-fungible tokens, not only permissionless trading opens up, but also collateralization and more, which means not only digital and gaming items, but the tokenization of real-world assets, which we'll get into speaking about in a second. But first, speaking of gaming items, Ultra, the sponsor of today's video, is laser focusing just on that. And like always, the full details of our agreement can be found in the description. So, Ultra can be considered the blockchain for gaming distribution, helping both gamers and game developers. They're building the one-stop shop to number 1, play and discover games. Number 2, buy, sell, and trade those games with revenue sharing options. And also gaming items, including NFTs. And finally, 3, a place for the social aspect, community streaming, and of course, competition. And they have backing from big names to help accomplish this. Back in November, it was announced that Ubisoft was becoming a block producer on their blockchain. Then in December, it was announced that AMD and Ultra would be working together on game distribution and co-marketing activities. Now, if you didn't know, the platform launch could be coming soon. In August, Ultra announced the launch of their Ultra SDK for closed beta. And this is big because it's a cross-platform SDK where you can build for the common gaming platforms: Steam, Xbox, PlayStation, mobile, and more. Use the common engines, and use the common languages and tools, and then enhance it with blockchain capabilities and Ultra. And according to the Ultra team, 150 game developers and publishers are keen and ready to have their games on or launch with the platform after it goes live. Now, why would they want to build and publish with Ultra? Well, NFTs, my friends. By purchasing games on Ultra, users are actually purchasing game NFTs that prove ownership and unlock the rights to download, play, and get updates. Game NFT parameters are easily set by the publisher and devs, including game tradability, minimum resale prices, ability for resale revenue sharing, and more. Now, remember how I said the social aspect of the gaming would be a major component? Well, Ultra has partnered up with another favorite of mine to accomplish this, and I use their streaming service every weekend. Yesterday, Theta and Ultra announced a partnership where Theta would be integrated into Ultra, and Ultra's users will have opportunities to earn both T-Fuel and UOS token rewards for relaying streams they watch, which can be used for purchasing content across the Ultra platform, including games and virtual item NFTs. So, gaming and digital NFTs, a bubbling market that Ultra has laid the groundwork to capture. But now it's time to talk about NFTs and real-world items. This space is brand spanking new. Not many projects have accomplished much in regards to bringing the two together. Luxo is one I have my eyes on, but it's still in testnet, so the wait is the hardest part with that one. Although, what about what is live? What is tokenizing real-world assets and making those who invest in it a very nice return? Well, I've spoke on this before, and that is Centrifuge. So what is this, and what real-world items are being tokenized as NFTs? Well, the asset originators in Centrifuge are able to tokenize their real-world assets, which include invoices, royalties, and in the future, mortgages and auto loans. Now, in regards to invoices, businesses worldwide sit on payments waiting to be made. Right now, there's actually $30 trillion locked in outstanding payments. Centrifuge's Lake gives these businesses the opportunity to tokenize their outstanding payments and access cash when they need it. The investors, they pool together stablecoins and invest in the NFTs for a promise of a return from the asset originator. Now, there have been 8 Lake pools so far with over $2.1 million financed, and as we can see, drop investors, those who invested in the NFTs, have received a 6% return low, and the highest an 11.6% return. These are high yield, and the pools are short term, maturities in 30 to 45 days with the invoices, and the risk of investing is much lower than other things in crypto, DeFi related. You have a much greater chance of getting paid back. Now, the right to shares of NFT payment pools comes in the form of investment tokens. Drop and 10. Drop is a less risky senior pool, which has a stable return rate, while 10 is the junior pool, having a variable rate, which can be higher, but you take losses first if any happen. Now, as we can see from their largest valued pool so far, Console Freight 2, the current 10 variable rate was nearly 41%, a damn good return for those that took the big risk and would eat the losses if there were any. But besides the investment tokens, Drop in 10, Centrifuge has a governance token, Radial tokens, and getting them is next to near impossible if you're not a validator for their chain, which, by the way, is a substrate-built Polkadot-ready chain, as seen from the Explorer. But now you can get those tokens through Lake liquidity mining. Both asset originators and investors will receive RAD tokens in addition to their financing or yield. And as we can see, this reward of RAD is high to begin, but as more DAI is locked with Lake, the lower the reward goes. So for investors, unfortunately, there are barriers. You have to have a minimum of a 10K investment. You have to pass KYC and AML, and in the US, you must be accredited. But those outside of the US, accreditation is not needed, although the other two requirements still apply. So I'm just giving you a tip, especially if you're outside of the US. RAD tokens will be big in my opinion, and contributing to the initial stages of their platform is how you get them. Centrifuge isn't only connected to Polkadot and their ecosystem, they are also partnered with MakerDAO, and Maker is getting ready to have Drop and 10 tokens as collateral with DAI. Just 15 days ago in the forums, they were discussing it with a deep infographic of how the oracles, loans, tokens, and liquidations would work. I hope you get it. Cheers, viewers. I'll see you next time.